Welcome to The Big Idea. I'm your host, Faith Lark. Today, on The Big Idea, what if the very ideas meant to liberate you could become your prison? Today, witness how Ibram X. Kendi's fight for antiracism took a shocking turn, as his own creation threatened to crumble, leaving you to question, can fighting for justice cost you everything? The stage lights bore down mercilessly, casting harsh shadows across Ibram X. Kendi's face as he stood before a hostile crowd. Their words hung in the air like daggers, radical, divisive, dangerous. A half-eaten apple sat on the podium beside his notes, an inadvertent reminder of life's fragility. You might wonder how a man dedicated to fighting racism became so vehemently opposed. The answer lies not in his message, but in society's resistance to uncomfortable truths. Stage 4 colorectal cancer. The diagnosis hit Kendi at age 35, just as his influence was peaking. But this wasn't just about personal survival. His voice, his research, his entire mission to combat systemic racism hung in the balance. His best-selling book, How to Be an Anti-Racist, was sparking national conversations. The Center for Anti-Racist Research at Boston University had just secured major funding. Yet here he was, facing mortality in sterile hospital rooms, while his life's work faced its own existential threats. Picture Jamaica, Queens in the 1980s. A young boy sits quietly at his family's dinner table, absorbing heated discussions about the Black Power movement. While other kids played outside, young Ibram buried himself in books about civil rights and Black history. His parents' activism shaped him, but so did his solitude. This wasn't mere childhood introversion. It was the formation of an observer, a thinker who would later challenge America's deepest-held beliefs about race. What separates Kendi's story from typical activism narratives is his raw honesty about his own journey. As a young man, he struggled with internalized racist ideas, the very concepts he would later dedicate his life to dismantling. This wasn't a story of someone born enlightened. It was about the painful process of unlearning, of confronting one's own contradictions. His early academic success came with a price. The more he understood about systemic racism, the more he had to confront within himself. The publication of Stamped from the Beginning marked a turning point. The National Book Award victory should have been pure triumph. Instead, it painted a target on his back. Each accolade attracted more scrutiny. Each speaking engagement drew larger protests. A subtle cough here, an unexplained fatigue, their early warning signs of the health battle to come, though no one recognized them then. Inside the Center for Anti-Racist Research, urgency filled the air. Teams worked through nights, driven by the weight of their mission during a national racial reckoning. But as funding and visibility grew, so did the pressure. Media scrutiny intensified, political opposition mounted. And then came the cancer diagnosis, forcing Kendi to write How to Be an Anti-Racist from hospital rooms between treatments. The cracks appeared slowly at first. Whispers of mismanagement at the center grew louder. Former allies began questioning Kendi's leadership. The same institution meant to fight systemic racism faced accusations of internal dysfunction. Staff layoffs followed. Media outlets that once celebrated his work now scrutinized every decision. The irony wasn't lost on anyone. A center dedicated to examining broken systems was now being examined for its own systematic failures. If you're enjoying The Big Idea, please like, subscribe, and scan the QR code for our free 7-day email course, Mental Models Mastery. Learn to make better decisions and think like Einstein, Da Vinci, and Socrates. Now back to the episode. Late one night, alone in his office, Kendi faced the hardest question of his career. Had he been wrong, not about racism's existence or impact, The evidence there remained overwhelming. But about his approach, his methods, the very structure he'd built to combat it. The criticism wasn't just external anymore. It had worked its way inside, much like the cancer that had threatened his life. But here's what you might not expect. Kendi didn't break, instead he evolved. The same resilience that helped him survive cancer now fueled a transformation in his approach. He began speaking more openly about failure, about the messiness of progress, about how fighting systemic racism requires constant self-examination and adjustment. His vulnerability became his strength. Return now to that opening scene, the hostile crowd, the harsh lights. But see it differently. Every accusation hurled at Kendi represented someone confronting their own discomfort with change. Every protest sign revealed fear of examining long-held beliefs. His greatest achievement wasn't building perfect systems or writing bestsellers. It was showing that real change requires embracing imperfection, facing criticism, and continuing forward anyway. This isn't just Kendi's story, it's about you. When you face resistance to necessary change, whether personal or systemic, will you retreat to comfort or push through discomfort? Kendi's journey teaches us that transformation isn't about being right all the time. It's about being willing to be wrong, to adjust, to face criticism, and to keep fighting anyway. Here's your task. Identify one uncomfortable truth in your life, one system you've accepted without question. Examine it with the same ruthless honesty Kendi applied to racism, then act. Not because you have all the answers, but because progress demands we start asking better questions. The fight for a just world isn't won in a moment, but it begins with one person willing to face resistance and keep pushing forward. Remember, your critics don't define your impact. Your setbacks don't determine your legacy. What matters is your willingness to stand up, speak out, and keep evolving even when it feels like the whole world is telling you to sit down and stay quiet. On the next episode of The Big Idea, Ibram X. Kendi taught us that confronting uncomfortable truths is the first step toward dismantling systemic injustice. But what happens when those systems become so complex, so interwoven with our daily lives, that they become almost invisible? Have you ever wondered about the algorithms shaping your news feed, or the data quietly influencing decisions about your future? Next time, we'll explore a world where artificial intelligence reigns supreme, and the ethical tightrope we must walk to ensure its power serves humanity. Prepare to meet a visionary who dared to question the very foundations of AI and dedicated her life to understanding its profound impact on society. Her story isn't just about technology. It's about power, responsibility, and the future we're building, one line of code at a time. Next week, we're diving headfirst into navigating the complexities of technology's impact, and Kate Crawford's journey is the perfect launchpad to understand this crucial theme. Please like, subscribe, and scan the QR code, or follow the pinned link to get our free 7-day email course, Mental Models Mastery. 7 mental models used by humanity's greatest minds. Think clearer, decide faster, and spot opportunities everyone misses. Click the video that just popped up to watch the next one in this series. Or for episode summaries, behind-the-scenes info, and more, go to daily8.com/bi. Thanks for watching.